Welcome to Mind and Movement, getting smart about how you move. I'm Hazel. Thanks for joining me for Coffee and Move 25, which means we have 1 week to go of our retreat here in New Zealand. I think, yeah, something like that, which is exciting. Maybe 1 week, maybe more, depending on what the government decides to do here, which is great. Yesterday we did a little bit of stuff around breathing. We checked if your breathing pattern was inverse. And if it was inverse, why is it inverse? So people's breathing is affected by how they move their body or how they don't move their body. So if you've got parts of you that don't move, aka your thoracic spine, the vertebra through the middle of your chest here, your ribs, your intercostals, your belly doesn't move, your diaphragm doesn't move, all of these things mean that breathing is more difficult for you to do because you can't move the parts of you that you need to get a nice deep breath or a nice easy breath into your body. So a lot of us force a breathing pattern into a body that doesn't move very well instead of just getting those parts moving, and then your breath's just going to go there. So let's do some movements that are going to make breathing easier for you. The first one is an abdominal release. So many of us have been taught by Western culture that we must suck in our belly, we must suck in our abs to make our stomach look small, to brace our spine, all of that kind of stuff. So here's me sucking in my gut. Oh, I tilted my pelvis when I did that. Interesting. Okay, so here's me sucking in my gut, here's me relaxing my gut. So we're just getting ourselves in a position where gravity can help us to let the gut go. This muscle, the abs, want to be now switched off, and my teacher Katie says that if you can get your guts to touch the ground, you've just done the best abdominal release ever. Of course, she's kind of joking, but the more you can let this go, the better. So being able to let go of the tension in the core or the tension in these superficial muscles around here is really, really important. So that's one exercise you can do to get some more movement happening here. The other one you can do is some nice thoracic mobilization of the thoracic vertebra. The thoracic vertebra are anywhere where a rib comes off. You've got the 7 cervical vertebrae in the neck, 12 thoracic in the middle of your back here, and then the 5 lumbar vertebrae down the bottom. So we're going to lie down with something like I'm using a half roller here, but you can use something like this. Let me get. Here I have got a rolled up towel that I just duct tape together with duct tape. This works really well, so I'll do it with this. So roll up a towel, and you're going to put this somewhere under your thoracic spine, so anywhere there's a rib. And it's just giving us a bit of load, right, which is going to hopefully help us get a little bit of movement. I'm going to be very mindful here about keeping my ribs down towards the ground. So you cannot get my hand, I cannot get my hand underneath my thoracic spine here. There's a wee space here in my lumbar vertebra, but I'm going to keep those ribs down and then just gently come back. So most people, when they do this exercise, do this. They thrust the rib cage, which creates shearing forces in the spine, and it's just not what you want to do, and it's not moving our thoracic spine, it's moving our lumbar spine. If I do this, you can see that that movement is coming from the lumbar spine. We overuse our lumbar spine all the time because of a lack of hip extension, because of a lack of shoulder flexion, because other parts of us don't move. We move at this highly kind of mobile area, which gets really sore because of it. So keep your ribs down. It's going to help your lumbar spine, and it's going to help your thoracic spine. And all I'm doing is breathing here. So I'm intentionally kind of breathing into the back of my rib cage, but also just rolling from side to side and trying to get a little bit of thoracic extension. So seeing if I can get my back to curve over this, but without lifting here. If you can get your hand under here, you're not doing it right. So this is thoracic extension. and you can breathe into your belly. You can breathe wherever you want here. Your belly breathing you should do when you're lying down, like babies do. A lot of people think they should be belly breathing when they're standing up, but you need, if you're moving around, you're going to need your core muscles to support you and whatnot. So I'm not saying you should brace your abs at all, but you should reflexively be able to switch on your core muscles whenever you need it. So breathing, we should be able to breathe everywhere, down into our belly, into all the areas of our ribcage. And a lot of us just can't. So let's go and do another one of the exercises we did yesterday. Hope you enjoyed that thoracic extension. And that is just, I'm going to put my hands on the side of my body here, and I'm going to see if I can move my hands away from each other through breathing. So you want to check in here with what's happening at the shoulders. Are you doing this? I don't want to be doing that. So our breathing is affected by many things, by physiological things, psychological things, biomechanical things. Of course, we're working on the biomechanical things. If we get movement into the places that need to move when breathing, we will be able to breathe better. So also yesterday, we did some spinal twists. So we're going to do them again. So you're going to put your hands across your chest and just rotate. And now, it's harder to breathe, right? So one of the things that's really important to understand in understanding your body is that we've got 3 cavities in the body. We've got the thoracic cavity here, which has got your heart and lungs in it. You've got the abdominal cavity, which has got your stomach, all your internal organs, everything, your womb if you're a female, and then you've got your pelvic cavity down below. And so we can create pressures in those cavities, and one of the things that many of us done has created an excessive amount of pressure in the abdominal cavity, and you can do that mostly through poor alignment. So if we are standing up, you're not going to be able to see my head yet, but if I have a thrust pelvis, I am pushing a lot of my back into my abdominal cavity, and over time all of the stuff that's in there is being put under pressure, so it's going to try and get out, right? This is called Poisson's effect. So what is going to happen over time is you're going to get either a hernia, depending on how you're aligning yourself. You're going to get a hiatal hernia, which isn't cool. You're going to get an inguinal hernia, which isn't cool. You're going to get an umbilical hernia, which isn't cool. Or you're going to get a complete linear elbow separation called a diastasis recti, which is when the fascia between the rectus abdominis starts to split and your goodies start to come out. So that is caused by too much pressure. So one of the best ways we can reduce pressure in the abdominal cavity is by getting our body into good alignment. So one of the best things you can do for your body if you've got that thrust pelvis is to stretch your calf muscles. Yes, for your abdominal cavity, you need to stretch your calf muscles. So let's stretch our calf muscles. Let's use this fantastic rolled up towel again. All I'm going to do here is put my foot up here, and you'll notice that my weight is in my heels. I'm not thrusting my pelvis, because if I do that, I'm going to be creating more pressure in my abdominal cavity. So part of the reason we're thrusting our pelvis is because of tight calf muscles, overused hamstring muscles, tight hip flexor muscles. So the position you're in is created by the positions you spend most time in. You are how you move. So if you want to change something that's happening in your body, you have to change what you're doing. And a lot of people ask the wrong question. They ask, instead of asking, what they ask is, how can I fix this? I've got a problem, how can I fix it? And that's the wrong question to ask. The question you want to be asking is, what do I do every day that creates this problem? And if you cruise around in poor alignment all day, every day, that's going to be creating lots of problems in your body. So the best thing to do if you've got soreness, anything in your body, is to get better alignment. Hooroo, hoorah! Okay, so we've swapped onto the other side and we're just stretching our calf muscles. It's great. I love it. And you're breathing while you're doing this, and just notice what your breath does. Don't try and force it to do anything different. Just take some time to notice how you breathe when you're not really thinking about how you breathe. And the reason you're breathing that way is because that's what your body kind of allows at the moment. And we need to open up and move some other parts so they can start to be moved by the breath. The breath has a huge amount of influence on your posture. Poor breathing, chest breathing patterns can mean that you have, it changes your neck and head positions. It can change the position of your lumbar spine. So let's get back to doing some of that rotation, because we kind of jumped out of that. So I'm going to rotate this way this time. I'm using my abdominals to get the rotation. Notice that I'm not trying to get my head around as far as possible, because this is not a cervical rotation exercise, it's a thoracic rotation exercise. How far away, how far around can I get? Just using my muscles, and then I'm going to use my muscles to hold me there. And while I'm using my muscles, I need to breathe differently. I need to explore what it means to breathe while I'm using my abdominals. Can I breathe into the back of my chest? Can I breathe out into the sides of my chest? Can I get a little bit of air down into my abdomen? Or haven't yet? At this point in time, if you haven't checked out Katie Bowman's website, you should. And there's a couple of articles on there. One's called Under Pressure 1 and one's called Under Pressure 2. Google Katie Bowman Under Pressure and it will come up. Katie, K-A-T-Y, Bowman, B-O-W-M-A-N. If you have any diastasis recti, any breathing problems, if you have constipation, if you have hernias, if you have hemorrhoids, any of these things that are created by pressure in the abdominal cavity, you need to stop creating that pressure on a daily basis. So you need to get your body into better alignment, which is what we're doing in my Restore course currently. And a lot of that information I'm sharing here as well. But if you want to sign up for my Restore course, it's actually too late, but get in touch with me if you need help. I'd be more than happy to help you. So I'm just doing a little bit of rotation here, just using my abs to rotate. I'm breathing. Awesome. The breath, when we're in good alignment, creates a beautiful wave of motion through our organs and down into our pelvic floor. If our pelvic floor is not situated underneath our internal organs because we've got a thrust pelvis, then that's not the loads that our body needs to keep the diaphragm, keep the pelvic floor really healthy simply by breathing. If you're doing Kegels for any pelvic floor problems, please stop. Read Katie Bowman's stuff on why the Kegel should never be in anybody's exercise repertoire. And on that note, have a fantastic day. I am grateful right now for only having 1 week to go in this retreat. But if we get another couple of weeks, I will not be sad. I'll just do whatever I can. I'm grateful for Katie Bowman and Tom Myers, all of my teachers. Thank you very, very much for teaching me cool stuff. Have an awesome day.